I think Roland's coming up from Zoom. Ready, Paul?
Yep, we are live.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Somers Town Board regular meeting for Thursday, April 18th, 2024, starting here at 7:01. Before we start tonight's meeting, can everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? We got a couple of I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Patty, can you please start with roll call?
Councilman William G. Faulkner.
Here.
Councilman Richard G. Clinchy.
Here.
Councilman Anthony J. Sirico.
Here.
Councilman Thomas A. Garrity Jr.
Here.
Supervisor Rob Scarano.
Here. Before we jump into our public comment, we're going to move the first two items from our town board up to allow our speaker, Don Bleasdale, to have the opportunity from the Somers Energy Environment Committee to speak. I know we had pushed Don to the end of the meeting last week, so I'm going to give him the opportunity to come up and speak for the Somers Energy Committee. Town board, Town of Somers update. The elephant is up. World Circus Day is on 4/20. A lot went into it, and it's going to be a great day. That's the only big thing that we really have to mention here for the Town of Somers. And then, Don, if you would like to come up and have the opportunity to speak for a few minutes.
Who's pulling the curtain on that?
That would
Old
be
bet or new bet? I don't know.
It's the old new bet.
Old new bet.
The old new bet.
You get to pull like.
Or is it the new?
I believe
Have some kids or
maybe some kids, maybe D. Whitman, of course, and
okay.
then we'll see when
Saturday.
we get on
Good.
Saturday,
It's at 11, right?
11 o'clock.
Don, how are you?
Don, there's a button right there on the.
Hello. There you go.
Lift it. There you go.
Just wanted to give you.
You get right to Patty.
You know, all the important documents go to Patty.
That's okay. This one can be handed to you.
No, I'm running on eggshells right
We
now.
have one, we'll share.
That's just, so we're part of, Clean End Community Program. And they list all your, the actions you've taken, the points you've gathered. We've obviously we get funding grants for some of those actions. So right now we're at 1,800 points. And I believe if we get to 3,000, we're eligible for another grant. So just, we're making some progress.
Shop.
Thank you.
Not,
Thank you.
you know, there's some other towns that obviously don't do better, but, so
Don, what would those grants, are they specific when you say that we're eligible for other grants? For specific purposes dealing with energy and environment or
you will,
a wide range?
well, like in that, I don't know if it listed there, but you know, benchmarking of your buildings, right? Your energy use is one. LED lights, electric vehicles. There's about community programs, of which we're doing right now. We're doing a community solar program now. And we just got to tier 1 in that, which is not much, but the tier 1 in the community solar is worth a $5,000 grant,
Oh, okay.
right? Then
And they would enable us to put it toward things that
yeah,
make things more efficient.
right. And then, so there's 3 tiers in community solar. So we got 10, I think 10 people signed up. If we get to 50, then there's a $10,000 grant. If we got to 160, which we, you know, I don't know if you weren't here yet, Rob, but 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, we did another community solar program. And I think we had 150 people sign up. It was pretty successful.
It was.
So individually you have these grant totals. Now, the only caveat is because these are tranches of funding, if they get used up, you know, by different towns, not those, but if we got to 3,000 points, I think we got like an additional 10,000 on top of everything else, right? So it's a lot of funding opportunities, and we're working on trying to do it. So if any of you sitting here don't know what community solar is, basically you are helping support the development of solar projects in New York State. And the long and short of it is you basically get up to a 10% savings on your electric bill every month. There's no contract, no whatever. It's a kind of a no-brainer type thing. And I would encourage anybody who's interested to take a look at it. So,
So Don,
Yeah.
just quickly though, the points though,
Yep.
are they event-based?
what's that?
Are they event-based? You know, you run a program, you get points, or they
Well, the-
accumulate
the-
as the program runs?
Like the one I'm on that sheet, some of the funding grants I think might terminate. I think some of those might terminate like in September this year.
Okay,
So yeah, there is a window usually where you have to get your task completed by a certain time. So
so you pursue a project, you have a time frame, and how well you do on that task impacts the number of points you get.
right.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so there's that urgency of trying to get to those numbers, right?
Sure.
So
Don, I was just looking here, your secretary over in the building department,
Denise,
I asked her for how many places in Somers already have solar panels, and it's, if I remember correctly, about 165, which was more than I expected. I don't know if that's a lot or not, but
yes,
But it-
there's a
more
continue.
than I expected.
Right. I mean, a lot of people have roof issues, they have tree issues.
Okay.
You wanted to get solar panels on your roof and couldn't. This is a way to access and be able to benefit.
Through that solarized, because you're supporting solar panels upstate or wherever,
Right.
which that energy goes into the grid and
Right.
Oh.
Just like with solar panels, those solar panels are not giving power into your house. It just feeds the grid,
right.
power.
Yeah.
Right.
Credit for that.
Uh,
Okay.
But are you getting points for those 165 installations?
No,
No.
like we did the solarized campaign years ago.
Okay,
And from the campaign, the success of the campaign, the panels that are on the library were due to that. I think
Oh.
we teamed up with Newcastle,
and we also have them on the highway department.
which was, I think, a grant related to. I'm not even,
Yeah, I think so.
That was?
Yes, it
That
was.
was,
and the high school, that was years ago, right? So that was big.
About 8 years ago, 5 years ago, yeah.
So we continue to work on some of those things. There's electric cars. I know there's been electric car, additions to the fleet, which is great. And some of the things we've already done actually would get us grants. So I'm trying to see if we can grandfather certain things we've done. We also have a clean energy program, which is they're trying to support heat pumps, which of course, if your house is of the age where you're ready to upgrade your equipment, there's all kinds of incentives. I think it's anywhere from 25 to 30, 40%, credits and rebates for putting in a new heat pump in your house. So that's another program that gets us points and, has grant money behind it too. So and I know we've gotten, I think it's maybe 5 or 6. So we're continuing on that front as well. We are also looking to continue having like a speaker forum, a couple times a year. So we're going to work on something probably for sometime later this summer or the fall. We did one at the library for the heat pumps actually, and it was a pretty good kickoff. We had 25, 30 people there, and I think that's led to some people, getting heat pumps and geothermal, which is another option that's a much more expensive option, but if you are getting a new house and you're in that place, it's can be worthwhile. And that's basically my update. So
All right, thanks.
Good job, Don. Thank you. Did all the hard work.
You need any people to volunteer for your committee?
always.
Uh-huh.
We work in the shadows, but
Uh-huh.
we meet once a month. We are 3 of us right now, but we basically as well as working on energy efficiency things, we also trails and connectivity of the town. We're also working on all that. So
Yeah, if people are interested in that subject,
yes,
future, you need more people.
we do. Thank you.
Don,
All right,
thank you.
Don, thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Don.
Appreciate all the good work.
All right.
Mattering of.
I want to make a motion to open up public comment. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so move. I know we have a lot of people here in the room this evening. If we can, we try to keep it to 3 minutes. We're not going to hold you to a time, but between 3 and 5 minutes would be great. For people who want to speak on a various topics.
Any topic.
Any topic that you want, you can please come on up and do so. Again, we will not limit who speaks. If there are people here, I'm looking in the audience, I see some familiar faces. If there are people here from Somers who'd like to speak, but if there's people here from Carmel that want to say a few words as well, they're more than welcome to come up to the podium and speak. Before we start that, I just want to give some people a little bit of information as well. The Board of Fire Commissioners, Town of Somers, Somers Fire District, sent a letter to the Town of Carmel Planning Board members in opposition of the proposed lithium battery storage facility off of Milk Road. And they expressed some of the trepidations that they had when it comes to the firefighters who would be handling a fire if one was to happen. And then I'll just read the last the last little bit. Somers Board of Fire Commissioners vehemently opposes the proposed project. Anybody like to come up? Just again, your name, where you're from, and try to keep it 3 to 5 would be great. I think there's a lot of people here that want to come up and talk.
Women and children first.
Are we allowed to take pictures?
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. How you doing, bud?
Man,
Hi.
shirt.
You're 4? Yeah,
Thanks. Thank you. All right, can you
nice.
Hello, my name is Cassie Leanne, and I'm a resident of Somers and would prefer not to disclose my address for my children's sake. So I wrote down what I wanted to say to keep my emotions in check, as this is something I've been worrying about daily. As you can see, I am a mom of 3 very young children, our youngest just shy of 4 months old. And when I heard about this proposal, I was still in the thick of my postpartum journey. I do not wish this extra worry on any sleepless parent. My family is just getting started here in Somers. We moved here in 2021 with the hopes of establishing our roots in a community that provided safety, welcoming arms, and one that championed supporting one another. We are a dual income family, and my husband is working late and couldn't be here to watch the kids. So I brought them with me because this is the reason why I'm so against this project. I am always open to hearing both sides, but from the resources I have read, this does not belong in our backyards. We need your help. Do it for the children, and please keep the safety of their well-being in mind. Please don't force my family to make a decision to move. Keep this area safe so we can all continue to thrive personally and professionally in our family units as we raise the next generation. I need to get these kids home to go to bed, where we have always felt safe and can only hope it will always remain to be. I appreciate your time, and to everyone here tonight, thank you for showing up for each other, and I'm so proud to live in Somers.
They're some of the best behaved kids I've seen.
I know.
Good job, guys.
Oh.
Wow. Look at you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Rich, you have any candy? Yeah, give him candy.
Believe me, he'll want to leave in a minute.
Hi, I'm Barbara Tepper, 714 Heritage Hills. I'm speaking on behalf of the Somers Library Board of Trustees. As you are aware, we are on the verge of going to contract for several projects, an energy audit of the building, a new HVAC system, so that we can be energy efficient and save the town money, the teen room expansion, etc. I just urge you to reconsider the way you negotiate contracts, because nobody wants to bid. I know that from experience from the library board. We needed doors rehung and locks changed. Put out an RFP, got 2 bids. One from the local locksmith in Somers and one from a locksmith in Staten Island. I was really wanted to know who it was since I'm from Staten Island. But that's not, you're supposed to have 3 bids, minimum. We only got 2. We're dealing now very unhappily with the cleaning service that we have gone to contract with. We pay $1,500 a month to clean the library, whether they show up or not, whether they do a good job or not. The library director has taken daily pictures of a dead bug that is in one of the public bathrooms that has been there for a week. So obviously they're not cleaning the bathroom. And they get paid the same $1,500. So I am strongly urging you to reconsider the way you have been doing business and negotiating contracts so that we get good service at a fair price. Thank you.
Hi,
Hi,
my name is Stephanie and I live at 11 Lounsbury. I wanted to take the time tonight to circle back to some things that were brought up at the last town board meeting. During the last meeting, many residents came up here and spoke about the many concerns we have regarding the massive lithium-ion battery facility that is being proposed in Mayapack off Miller Road. While I understand that this facility is in the Carmel jurisdiction, let's make no mistake that this facility will absolutely affect all of us here in Somers. We are all well aware of the wonderful letter of opposition that was written by the town board here in Somers and now by the fire department as well. We are also aware of the many, many safety risks this type of facility poses to the community, not only safety, but health and environmental risks as well. So I ask you today, what are the next steps? What are the next steps to continue this fight against this proposal? Additionally, what is the town board doing here to protect the Somers residents? At the last meeting, myself and many other residents came up and urged the board to take an immediate action and implement a moratorium against these facilities. I would like to know where the town stands on this issue and what the town is proactively doing to prevent this issue from ever happening here in Somers. Many other town boards across New York State have already taken the initial steps and implemented moratoriums against these facilities, including Southold, Islip, Southampton, the town of Athens, the town of Brasher, Warwick, Middleport, Montgomery, Riverhead, Long Lake, Oyster Bay, Claverack, Mohawk, and a bit more locally, Yorktown. It is imperative that the work towards placing a moratorium begins immediately so that we here in Somers are protected from these type of dangerous facilities. As stated in Mr. Scarano's well-written letter to the Carmel Town Board, the safety and well-being of the residents of Somers and Carmel must take precedence. I want to take the time to thank the town board again for all they are doing to fight this facility in Mayapack and protect us here in Somers and the surrounding communities. But while I do love your letter and your words of opposition, action is so imperative at this point to continue protecting the health and safety of your residents. There is still a lot of work that needs to be done, and I am looking forward to hearing an update regarding these matters at hand. Thank you again for all your time and efforts.
Thank you.
anybody else?
Hi, good evening. Once again, nice to see everybody. My name is Noelle Verbois Moriello. I live at 17 Lounsbury. This is going to echo a few things that Stephanie just said, but here we go. Good evening, Supervisor Scarano, members of the Somers Town Board. I'd like to thank you all for hearing our concerns at last week's Somers Town Board meeting regarding the proposed lithium battery storage facility at 24 Miller Road in Mayapack, New York. And now we need your help. We need your help in taking action. New York State communities that have been successful in securing moratoriums related to BESS systems, like communities at Southampton, Oyster Bay, they all had their town boards on their side against the energy companies. We, however, did not have that advantage as the proposals before the Carmel Town Planning Board and not that of Somers. We need your help in providing us with a crash course in local government, the ins and outs of planning boards, zoning boards, environmental boards, not for town of Carmel, but our own. With that knowledge, that insight, we can better plan, prepare, and organize our own strategy to combat this irresponsible project. We need your help in mobilizing all the resources of this town to get the message out to all residents via text alerts, emails, and mailings, as this is sure to impact all of us. Equinor has all the resources of a multi-billion-dollar corporation at their command. They've currently planned an hour-and-a-half webinar/infomercial to sell the public on how great this monstrosity is going to be. We have Facebook and flyers and now lawn signs. But we need your help. We need your help to ensure that Somers safeguards its current zoning laws, to keep up with this ever-changing technology so no other neighborhood is subjected to this kind of nightmare. Please continue to do what's right, hear our concerns, and more importantly, take action. Stand with your residents to protect our community. We need your help now. And we'll see you at the next meeting.
So I heard a few comments in the last two speakers about next steps. We are working on next steps. Okay. We are coming up with a game plan for our residents. That doesn't happen overnight. Okay. But we're working on it. We're working on next steps and we'll.
Real quick, Paul Harrell, 720 East Lane. Was here before. I told you that I've lived in Somers since 1959. Just to, like to say, this is a great group of people right here. We have accomplished a lot, but like was just said by, we could use help. One way you could help us, because yesterday or the day before, I was on the phone for hours trying to find the number for, DEP and all the different agencies that we're trying to get in touch with. And you get put into the loop, call this person, and after an hour and a half, leave a message. So if you guys have any inside scoop on phone numbers or attach who we, should talk to, it'd help a lot. Appreciate it.
Okay. Well. Somebody's coming up from the back. I know you probably want to go last.
Hi, Scott Moriello, 17 Lounsbury Drive. Just really, this is almost like a letter that I'll probably just write and formally send to you guys so I can get some answers to some questions, just because I got a lot of them. But they're similar statements that have already been said, so I don't want to take too much of your time. To Supervisor Scrano and the rest of the town board, I'm here tonight to ask a simple question. What has been done since last week to help solve the problem of this 116 megawatt battery project? Last week, I requested that you contact NYSEG and voice your strong disapproval of the project. Have you done that? If not, when will you do that? If you choose not to, why will you not contact them? Up in Racket Lake, community up near Long Lake, they mentioned before, the town board united and the community united and put an enormous amount of public pressure on the British-owned power company called National Grid. That was basically planning on hooking up a 40 megawatt facility, and they just recently pulled out of the project. That held weight, the public pressure, and getting the town government behind it or neighboring towns as well. So this was effective. Everyone knows that this 116 megawatt facility is simply to make money, and NYSEG will benefit, not us. Please, will you contact them? We need you to make NYSEG realize that their profit venture is putting this town in danger. Also, last week I asked, when were you notified and why did the town board decide not to act immediately? I would appreciate respectfully an answer to that, so I can get an idea of if we could have done some other earlier things earlier and what we could do from now on. One last point of clarification. Last week you mentioned the letter that you wrote to the Carmel Planning Board had all the members of the board on there, and the one copy that I have didn't have that. It just had your name on it, Supervisor Scrano. And again, I appreciate it. Thank you for the letter. It was well written, and I'm sure everyone else agrees with me. But I think it would mean something if each council member sent a copy of that letter to the planning board. It would make the communities most impacted by this feel even more supported. Can you give, lastly, to echo some of the statements that others have said, can you give us an introduction to our own planning board? We would love to meet with members of the planning board and discuss how things work and what options we might have, if any. They've been through these types of projects before and know the best way to keep our town safe. We need their expertise. Could you set up a face-to-face meeting with members of the board to discuss the matter and our best strategy? We plan on having several demonstrations in your future. What are the laws regarding protests in Somers? In some other towns, they try and limit protests under the guise of public safety, meaning that you have to request a permit some 60 to 90 days previous to your protest. Do we have any restrictions? And can we have some assistance with that if we do? And then, again, we know you're all very busy. We know you have families and other jobs. We know this is not it can't be the first priority of the town. You've got other responsibilities, but
Now it is.
well, we appreciate that. We do. And we're good to hear. It's happy to hear that. We appreciate your attention in the early stages, but respectfully, we need you to imagine for a moment that this project was literally going in your backyard.
It is.
Seriously, pretend you're standing on your own backyard, your deck, you're looking out there in some woods or maybe a vacant lot, and imagine that they were going to put this right there. And now we need you to act with that urgency that this proposed project is being placed in your backyard. What would you do first as a mother or father, as a resident, as a member of the town board? Because any vacant lot in your neighborhood is fair game for a dangerous project like this. So thank you.
Scott, if you want to send me those questions. All right, Roland.
Good evening, Robin, members of the town board. Roland Seer from 9 Lounsbury Drive, Walden Place. As Scott said, you'd never want to have this behind your house. I will again reiterate what I've said before. I invite every one of you to take a walk with me. Go right to my property. You can stand on my property. You don't have to go over the county line, and you will see exactly where this is. I will go back there and I'll wave to you. I'll show you 200 feet away. It's not far, very close. When those trees come down, we're looking at massive gray colored storage containers, 40 feet long, for as far as the eye can see. It's taking up over 6 acres of land. Before talked about the moratoriums, and the question I have is, I know the moratorium is a temporary action. Well, when will the master plan? Do you have people working on this or assigned to work on a master plan who'll start putting this language and verbiage in place so that this never happens again in any place in this town? You know, I told you last time I was here, you need help on any advisory, I'd be more than happy to assist. Also, very interesting fact, being a member of the Marine Corps, I read Marine Corps Times quite a bit, but I missed this one. Barbara found it. The Marine Corps Times is now telling us in a letter that Camp Lejeune, which had, I don't know the exact amount of megawatts, but they've started decommissioning and removing all of their lithium-ion battery storage facilities. Because of the imported Chinese batteries and the implications that we would have with any place where it could be hacked and national defense. So they're coming out. The Marine Corps is not going to be using lithium-ion battery storage for the near future. Now, I have a prepared letter over here that somebody wrote to me. They could not come here this evening, but I'd like to read it to you. She's a resident of Carmel and she could not make it. And it goes like this. I would like to thank the town board for allowing all the residents of Somers and Carmel to speak about any concerns they may have. This brings me to my request for the Somers Town Board to join with other New York State towns in issuing a moratorium on BESS facilities. Battery energy storage system facilities are new technology. Despite contributing to the alleged cleaner energy, they are uniquely susceptible to extreme weather conditions, lightning strikes, heavy rain, wildfires, and other weather events, possibly earthquakes, can all cause these batteries to malfunction. Lithium cells experience thermal runaway, which can cause them to release hot flammable toxic gases. The hot flammable gases can result in an explosion or very difficult fire to extinguish. Burning plastics, materials cause heavy smoke conditions and release particles of plastic into the air. In a large storage facility, failure of the lithium cell can cascade into hundreds of individual cells. There are 84 battery cells placed in parallel to store 1 megawatt of power. Each storage container may hold many megawatts of power. In Warwick, New York, 2 of the 6 megawatt newly installed battery units ignited. Both contain 2 megawatts of power, 168 battery cells, in each container. The fire started to burn out after 3 days, but continued to smolder for over a week. There are many risks with the best facilities, proving that more research is needed and zoning regulations governing this new technology must be updated. Do not allow history to repeat itself. It took our government decades to set health and safety standards with already in use new technology. To name a few: lead paint, asbestos, leaded fuel, oil tanks, and in-the-ground storage tanks. And let us not forget the Love Canal. The Mayapack proposed BEST facility will consist of 9,744 battery cells. There appears to be 5 containers shown on the East Point Energy illustrative site plan. This would be approximately 23 megawatts of power in each container, 10 times the number of batteries in one of the Warwick containers. Our safety and well-being is your number one responsibility. And now at this time, please approve the moratorium and change the master plan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Roland, I just want to ask you one quick question. I'm
Yes, sir.
go off on a tangent.
Yeah.
So there's this group here, and obviously you're heavily immersed in all this and know a lot of things.
Yes.
Are there people in Carmel and Mayapack who you are aligned with?
Absolutely.
And they have groups that feel the same way and are talking to them up there?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We're,
That's what I've been trying to.
we're gaining traction every day like a runaway
All
locomotive.
right. So there's people up there who are concerned too.
Yes, absolutely, because it's in their backyard. If this thing goes,
Okay.
I think the Mayapack High School and I forget the elementary school right next to it. They're right in the impact zone. They're less than a mile away the way the crow flies.
Yeah. I used to.
Then we've got you've got numerous preschool
Yeah, of course.
schools, and you've got the old age home or nursing home up on the corner of Mayapack Avenue, just to name a few. And then, of course, me, I got to be able to move. I don't move so good anymore.
Thank you.
Do we know if the fire department up there approved this?
I'm still trying to find out. I've been at the,
They did?
no,
All right. Well, okay.
that's something I think we have to find out.
Okay.
I've not gotten that officially. I'm
Right.
trying to contact the chief.
Thank you.
Please.
Please. You've been waiting, right?
Lady's been waiting over here.
Yes.
Just, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you've been standing there.
My name is Maria D. Simone. I am a Carmel resident.
Oh,
My house is about a block and a half away from monstrosity. First of all, I need to thank you for, I read the letters and I'm really glad and that you're even allowing me to talk, that you're willing to help your residents, unlike Mayapack. For them to approve this is completely ludicrous. Okay, because half of them are moving out. They don't even live there anymore. Some of these people who are approving this. I just give you a very small background on what Mayapack, with Mayapack, and how I only found out about this 2 weeks ago. And nothing surprises me anymore. I understand this has been going on since September 2023. Am I correct? Okay. At one time, if we wanted to build a shed, we had to notify everybody in the area. And we had to go in and oppose it. Well, they don't do that anymore. Now they sneak it in. Okay, which is what I feel that they're attempting to do with this. Sneak it in, keep us quiet. So I truly hope that you guys don't give up, because I've got 2 grandchildren, small grandchildren, that I would like to see that they remain safe. But I can tell you that Mayapack will not, that they're not going to help us. We're going to have to do something a lot more. They're not, and they're not talking either. And I know if you don't want to talk, resign, because you have no business being on the board or the planning board. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria.
Tony Paulo, Carmel, New York. The fire
Say
department,
your name again?
Tony Paulo,
Thank you.
P-O-A-L-L-O, Carmel. the fire department, where the chief was asked if they can handle any fires or anything of that nature with the batteries, and he said yes. Some of the fire department members did not say anything, and they said, well, maybe we cannot, because now they have to get all kinds of new gear to handle all that. The other part is you're gonna have a lot of wildlife that you're gonna lose. All right, now, one of the key elements is if you can find some kind of a endangered species on that property, you can stop them dead to rights by the federal government. All right. Any other easements that have to go through Somers on them, you stop it that way too. All right, because they're gonna have to have something go through there. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tony, is the fire department volunteer? Yes. Okay.
Nina. No.
Frank D'Amico, Mayapack, New York. Mr. Scarano, I'd like to thank you on behalf of Mayapack for the strongly worded letter. I'd also like to let everybody know that Putnam County sent a very strong opposition letter to the Carmel Planning Board. And I didn't know about the fire department approving it, but that brings questions that the volunteer fire department is volunteer. I would imagine a lot of people have jobs and it has to be rotated. I understand Mayapack has 3 fire stations. I don't know how many comps, but I'd have to imagine what the impact would be with just an all volunteer fire department. Suppose there's fires in other parts of town. How's it going to be prioritized? I mean, is it going to be a choice between somebody's houses burning down or something that shouldn't be there in the first place? I mean, that's all I have to say today. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks.
Good evening, Paul Cirillo from 22 Chambers Drive. And I'd like to continue where I left off last week when we spoke. I had a concern for our community. We talked about the volume of lithium that's going to be packed in our backyard. And we don't know the actual numbers because they're not providing that to us, but just using commercially available information on the internet, at 116 megawatts, it could be upwards of 1,160 tons of lithium batteries in our backyard. Now, we're being sold, comes from May 2nd by East Point Energy in this presentation that they're going to be giving. Of course, they're going to be selling us all the wonderful things that this energy system can provide. And I'm not going to deny that there is some merit to what they're talking about, but I'm a risk manager by trade. All right. So I'm not an energy expert, but I'll use the same principles that I use in financial services to apply them here. You have to look at risk and reward, right? We as a community take all of the risk and receive no reward. Zero. We have to look at what's the risk tolerance, the market of who this is going to be, presented to. The risk tolerance is the young woman here with 3 children in all of our community. This is a residential community. This is not a desert. You look at any of the brochures from these companies, they show you these beautiful pictures out in the middle of the desert where there's no people. Suitability, all right? In financial services, it's all about suitability. If I'm selling you a product, is it suitable for you? This simply is not suitable for where they want to put it. The energy companies are serving their own interests, not the interests of our community. We are in over our heads, and we just need to say no. This is for 4 hours of backup power. That's what this thing can provide. 4 hours of backup power. This is a profit scheme with no tangible benefits to our community. And again, we suffer all of the downside, all of the risk. In the brochure from East Point Energy, it says the project could generate local electricity. It doesn't generate electricity. It's all about arbitrage. They buy low and they sell high. This is a profit-making scheme. I don't care what anybody wants to call it. It is not for the grid. They will sell you it's for the grid. All right. I'll repeat what I read and add to it. This is from their own, what do you want to call it? Yeah, exactly. Their brochure. The project could generate local electricity, giving utility crews precious time to make repairs during storms and other outages. That is factually incorrect. If the lines are down because the trees took them down, they're not sending power through the lines, no matter where it comes from. Environmental impact is another one. The project has no air polluting emissions and no noise pollutions. Well, noise pollution, yes, there's articles, just go online about noise pollution. They don't talk about the heat pollution that this thing's going to cause. You're going to have hundreds of air conditioners that are going to be keeping these things cool. So our neighbors who are 200 feet away will love to hear the whirring of these air conditioners and get all of the heat that comes over. And of course, no polluting emissions. We're all smarter than that. Tax revenue and local economy.
Paul, I'm gonna give you 1 minute, all right?
Well, all right.
Thanks.
The project is capital intensive and provides significant increases in tax revenues. Yes. So a community right above us is looking for tax revenue. There is I ask everyone to look, there is from McKinsey and Company. Everybody loves that company. From November of 2020, the energy sector threat, how to address cybersecurity vulnerabilities. All right, all of this, check out cybersecurity. And what this gentleman said about Camp Lejeune, it's not just Camp Lejeune. The entire U.S. Department of Defense has proactively begun eliminating all Chinese battery energy storage systems from use across all branches of the military, including the Navy, due to foreign threat risks. China, Russia, and other countries have stepped up cyber attacks in recent years to disrupt the American and other power grids. So, yes, we are vulnerable. And why we would do this when there is all the risk and there's no reward to our communities, it baffles the imagination. Thank you for giving me the time.
Thanks, Paul.
Is there anyone else, before someone speaks twice, is there anybody else who wants to speak once? Okay.
Go, why don't you- as long as you're up there, why don't you go?
Oh,
Yeah.
This is way quick.
Okay.
That company is going to come around to Mayapack, Carmel, Somers, and they're going to start picking your brain. And they're going to ask questions. They're going to use all the questions that they ask you. They're going to go back to their brainiacs and sit down and use that information against you to say, hey, this is this and this is this because you said that. And it's just going to be one big, they're going to use what you tell them against us.
There's some merit to all of that.
you know, as we prepare our plans, I want to be broadcasting them.
Yeah.
So just take it to heart that we're strapped.
I think you were referring to the May 2nd.
Yes.
Okay.
Guy Baker, number 7, Lounsbury. I know in our town, there's a sign ordinance, right? Is there a sign ordinance? I just want to let you guys know that in the next couple days, there's going to be a lot of signs out. And
Yeah.
I hope that Tommy doesn't go and pick the signs up.
All I will say is, you're gonna put signs out. I mean, just make sure that they're in areas, not the business historic district right here.
We just don't, we want to get the word out.
Right.
We're going to flood the town with signs, both towns, Carmel and Somers. I just hope Tommy doesn't go around and pick the
If he
sign.
gets complaints, we'll have to move.
I mean, if they're on your property,
If they're on your
that-
property,
that's freedom
fine.
of speech.
Okay.
And
If they're on your property, if there's a sign there, right, that's not supposed to be in a certain area, we'll hold the sign here, okay? We're not gonna throw them out in the garbage or anything of that nature. If we collect a couple signs here, right, if they're not supposed to be in a certain area, we'll collect the signs. Come to us, ask, right, do you have any signs that were removed? We'll be more than happy to give it back to you.
We just want to get the word out.
Yeah, I mean, I saw already,
On every-
I've already saw,
When Heritage Hills don't know about it, everyone, there's a lot of people that don't know about it.
Oh,
Let me,
right, I mean,
let me,
Got it. We
those
really
couple
got to get. the
signs over
word.
on the fireman's field. I mean, I saw one of those there today, right? So that's, so you laugh, right? So I mean,
Roland, you're the guy.
Okay.
let me just give you a hint. Don't put them on the edge of the road. You have to put them 15 feet back outside the right of way onto your property.
Yeah, that'd be.
10 feet
Wanna-
or so, 15 might be allowed, like 10 feet back.
I don't know what,
And-
no, the rights of way are different on every
But
road.
if you leave that sort of a gap, you should.
All right. Because in the next couple of days, you're going to see
I know.
oh, we
a
figure,
lot of signs.
we
out.
figure.
I would.
All right. Thank you.
Buddy here.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Hi, my name's Kim Grillo. I live in 26 Putney. I would just wanted to follow up what Guy Baker has just said. The signs are not going to be free. They're going to be costing. I purchased some today myself. I don't have a problem with purchasing, but in order for them to get out, obviously, we all have to pay for it. Is that something maybe the town could maybe think to put some type of funding towards it? I mean, I think, this is, we do everything else, the Lions breakfast, the pancake breakfast, everybody's putting out things that are important. To them, I think this couldn't be the most important thing. And I'd like to think at the end of the day, I understand. I mean, I put them in front of in front of our development and our HOA has approved it. I'd like to think no one's going to touch them. I only put 2. I'm not putting them all within our development because I think it's much, but I mean, I think this is like the guy was saying, I don't think enough people know about this. That's the problem. And we're all putting it on social media, but there's still a lot of people that are not in those groups, not on social media. They, Somers Record is now twice, every 2 weeks.
Right.
So there's some information. A lot of people in Heritage probably don't even know what's going on. They don't even know what's going on, half the stuff with our schools. I'd like to think.
You'd be surprised about Heritage Hills.
Well, you'd be surprised they don't know. So there's a flip side. I mean, I hope everybody knows. I don't know what more we can do, but I think the signs is basically something that's going to be an attention grabber. And I know you said about businesses, but there's some businesses that everyone frequents. And if everyone is going to frequent, I put on a sign on a business tonight that everyone frequents. And at this point, it's not in your face. It's back further from the street. I'd like to think it's going to stay there because that place brings so many people to our town that I mean, at this point, we're grasping. We're trying to figure out how to get the word out. I hope maybe you guys would support funding on the signs because like I said, they're not free. I think it would help everything. I don't, I just think it would just be better for everybody, would make less stress on everybody to know that, our town is supporting them, but you're also going to support us to get the word out. Like this morning, I got a phone call about the hydrants being flushed in our development. Can some type of robocall go out like that? Can some phone call go out and just let everybody know this isn't an important issue that, our town would like to address. you know, I've lived here for almost 20 years and, you know, sometimes it baffles me how we don't come together as a community. If this doesn't bring this town together, I don't know what will. And I don't, this is across for everybody, for my girlfriend was just here with her 3 little kids, to senior citizens. I mean, everybody, this affects everyone. And this should bring us all together to fight this fight and not want this in our town. So I think, as I said to you last week, if we could have it, you know, even at Reese Park under the pavilion, if to have a meeting there, I mean, anything to just keep getting it out there, you know, change up the different venues. I mean, I obviously this is the second one we've had in, you know, back to back, and there's not a lot of people in. And I know people have lives and everybody works and everybody's got something going on. But I think if you make it easier and more accessible for people, maybe during the day, on the weekend, when they're out with their kids and their sports, they can see something. I mean, I don't know. Everybody, you know, all you guys all go out when you want to become elected and you hit all these events and that. How about we all do that now as if you're being elected, whether you are or not? Go out and just pick an event that's going on in the town to just get the word out. I mean, I don't know. I think it has to, the word has to get out now. If there's a small window here, and this window will close fast before, you know, we have to deal with Carmel having their plan board and, you know, everything else. It just seems like everything is going so fast. And because we've been notified now 6 months later than the letter went out to you guys, it's like now we feel like we're under the gun and we need to get this out. We need to get the word out. So I would hope that you guys would maybe consider donating to the woman who is making the signs. It's not a lot of money. I mean, at this point, it's a small amount. I mean, I've done it before. I did it when we had our food truck event. You know, you can get 50 signs. It's not going to cost this much. I mean, you're talking $500. It's a drop in the bucket. You know, just do something like that. As little as it seems, it will go a long way to help a lot of people. So I hope to think that you guys will consider that and not wait on that just because the signs do have to be made, and obviously they're being made for both towns. So I'd like to think you can consider that. We, all of us, I'm sure there's plenty of us. You say yes, we will be the ones to distribute it. We will take them down and we will gladly rip them out when the whole thing is done. So that's it. And we'll have a big burning party of all the signs.
Thank you, Kim. Anybody else? Yep, I know. Hold on.
Sorry. Mr. Scarano, nice to see you, board, everybody. Name is Rich Vorparian, 8 Vista Drive, Reserve. Most of the things that Paul said this week and also last week, and Roland also, I agree with. I did see the meeting last week via video because I did try to attend the Carmel meeting, but we were persona non grata. And also they did not allow anything about the battery farm to be discussed.
Didn't they take it off the agenda?
They took it off the
That night?
agenda the week before. They had it, but we
Oh.
were told no Somers residents could speak whatsoever.
Yeah.
Do you have a representative in Carmel that will speak on the behalf of Somers?
Me personally, no.
No, I'm just wondering, right? Because Roland read something today from a Carmel resident. Okay. I know it's not the same.
So most of the things that Roland and Paul are touching on is correct. I don't want to reiterate and tie up the time, but just the lithium battery industry, it is still in its infancy stages. It's not proven, very volatile. And if you want to look at a good report, MIT did a evaluation on battery farms, or BESSs, and it's a really interesting read, and I'm not going to go through it. Some of the things that disturb me is that there's been multiple fires at multiple battery farms. You have Bessemer City, North Carolina, Moss Landing in California, which was shut down for months on end because they couldn't curb that thermal runaway with the batteries that were ignited. You have Lake Ontario, 4 days that couldn't be put out. Lyme, New York, it's up by Canada. West Gloucester, Rhode Island, and Beijing, China. I mean, these things are just not one or two. There's quite a number of them because they're just in their infancy stages. The fire gases that are emitted from this, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, hydrogen fluoride, which is really a highly corrosive gas. It'll eat through anything. If you remember history, hydrogen cyanide was also called Zyklon B. Zyklon B was used by the Nazis in the extermination camps. So I don't think I'd really want to breathe this when this gets emitted in the event of a fire. Regarding, and I have to use this as a reference, vehicles, the flame rate in a vehicle fire, one that versus an EV versus a combustion engine, it's 7 times higher, the flame rate, than a combustion engine. I can't give the data on what it is for the best facility. The other disturbing thing is, and I have to compare it to EV cars. We had in Florida, if you remember, about 2 years ago, they had a hurricane. Teslas and Rivians were actually igniting due to the fact that they were soaked in water. This is being built on a marsh. And apparently, you know, how they're going to construct this, is water going to get into those containers and possibly cause a reaction with the lithium batteries that are in there. So I don't know what the long-term effects of this is going to be. Keep in mind General Motors. They told their EV car owners, don't charge your cars inside your home because they can catch on fire. Remember the winter that happened in Chicago this year? People were going to the Tesla station. They were trying to charge their cars. They couldn't charge their cars because the batteries have to be in a situation where they're either warm, or if they're too cold, they just won't take a charge. So that means that in addition to air conditioning, these things also have to be heated. So you have to have, it's almost equivalent to having a newborn. You have to have it hot and you have to have it cold. It can't be either or, it has to be just right. The other concern is, where are these electrical transmission lines going to be placed? They have to feed out to the main lines. Where is that going to be? Is that for any of the residents, whether it's Mayapack or Somers, where are they going to feed out to? Disturbing fact about the preserve, and I love the preserve, beautiful place, been there since 2013. Every house, according to the Somers building code, has a fresh air tank, air intake. And what that basically does is it pulls fresh air in from the outside into the basement area of the house. It's mandated by code. So that means that if we have to do a shutdown and be contained, we have to make sure that that is blocked off in some way. I just don't see people living in their home, whether it's in the summertime or in the freezing cold, cooped up and not being able to turn their heat on or their air conditioning. The agency that I work for, just to touch on cyber attacks, my agency gets attacked daily, and I mean relentless. They just hit us left and right. If you look at the recent occurrence, which happened with AT&T, maybe about a month and a half ago, their network was down totally. They pulled down AT&T's network. Well, 2 days later, AT&T came out and stated, well, we were doing upgrades. 2 weeks later, they stated we were hacked. So if you have a company like AT&T, who's pretty secure, especially with the federal government, and again, they're getting hacked, you can only imagine. Cyber attackers love,
2 minutes.
you got it. Attackers, they love to go after, hackers love to go after soft targets. And you're looking at utilities, hospitals, schools. United Healthcare just got recently attacked. The New York legislative website just the other day got attacked. I think they're going to be licking their chops at something like a soft target, especially a battery farm. And what way to better disrupt and show something that, you know, hitting a small community. This is my also concern, is it's decreased property values, which means Somers is going to lose money tax revenue wise, because you're not going to be able to assess the houses at what they're valued at now. So that's going to affect Somers. It's going to affect Mayapack. It's going to affect Carmel. I'm not a legal person, but I really think you need to do a lawsuit against the town of Somers, whether it's some sort of a.
You want me to sue my own town?
From the. We're not going to sue ourselves.
I'm not going to sue myself.
You mean,
Rich, I'm
Well,
yeah.
I'm not Somers. I meant Carmel.
I know.
we know you did.
We're playing.
I think we really need to go after, because it's negligence, and I'm not a legal person. I'm sure we all have a town attorney that could maybe pick this up and go after him. That's the weak link. It's really Carmel. So.
Can I ask
But
a question? What,
Sure.
you say your agency, what agency is that?
I don't want to disclose who.
Okay, and two things, could you pass on to either supervisor's office or the town clerk? You cite an MIT study. I'd like to
Yes,
read
there
that.
was an evaluation.
Then you cited several instances where these things, I'd like to have that information.
Sure.
If you would be able to.
Absolutely.
If
I have the emails. I'll send it.
yeah, please just pass it on to the clerk or the supervisor.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
TV, okay, well, I mean, TV.
That's all right. It's all right. Stay right there.
Go ahead if it's quick.
I'll get over here. You got me going now.
That's
Just real quick, I don't know if you saw, in the Bronx on the Grand Concourse, there, within the last week, young kid comes in on his little bike. I think the batteries are probably this big. It went on fire. 2 companies responded, 1 4.5 minute, 1 5 minutes, professionals. They showed up with 2 tower trucks. They lost both buildings, burned to the ground. Next day, within the next few days, saw another one in Chicago, to where it started going into a thermal runaway. And the chief out there of the fire department pulled his men back 250 feet. How far are we gonna be back? 100? 200. So they're gonna be in Roland's house or maybe just past it. You know? What's the correct numbers? And it left because the guy in Carmel, they have an expert fire department. He looks real young, you know? I think he just retired within the last couple of years. I don't know what they consider his, you know, just be able to call himself an expert or not, but I don't see how anybody can turn around and see this and then say it's okay, you know? Especially with the gases. He definitely, with the gases from the thermal and the hydrogen and stuff, he said on TV the other day that they blow away. Well, if you read up on them, they don't. They hover on the ground too. And that's where the explosion comes from, when, you know, they heat up. Thanks.
Thank you.
This will be pretty quick. The salesmen, the 2 young fellas that come around are selling this whole project as it will stop blackouts. Now, we've talked about everything else, and I don't know if enough has been talked about blackouts. There's a couple of things that stop blackouts. NYSEG has installed auto reclosers, circuit switches. They've done the tree trimming. That stops blackouts. The transmission lines were always energized. You have to have something like the Great Northeast Blackout of 2002 to take them down. Now, I don't want to go too deep into switching, but I did all the feeder runs. I know where everything comes in and out because that was my industry before I retired. If there's something going on down county in Manhattan, they need that power immediately or they're going to lose parts of the city. They'll open all the switches up here, send it back down to the Wood Street substation up on a Con Ed 345 lines. It's going south. It's going down to Manhattan on 51st Street, or it's going over to Dunwoody. It's going someplace and they're going to disperse the power that way. It's not staying up here in an emergency with the grid going down. There's more important places in their minds than us up here. That is for sure. So my point is, when they talk about these blackouts and how this is going to prevent them, that just makes my hair grow. It gets me nuts. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Okay.
Okay.
There's nobody else. I'll make the motion here to close out public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved.
Want to take 10 minutes? 11?
Yeah, we're gonna take 10 minutes so everybody clear out.
Not bad. Without.
Stand by, everybody.
Hey, Rob.
We can, we can,
I remember her.
Yeah. She's actually the 5th leading scorer in school history. She went to, she had, Office from LSU. That was cool.
Only 3% high school players ever play any basketball.
All right.
She was good.
That saves a lot of money.
Athletes and brains, must be all you.
Back here? Councilman Garrity? Councilman Faulkner?
I've been there. I've been there.
I've driven by 100 times. I think they actually pulled the. Yeah. I know.
I've been in Guy's backyard.
Councilman Clinchy?
Thanks for coming.
See you tomorrow, Roland.
Yeah. No.
Yes,
All right.
You are the audience.
the litter task force in person.
Keep Somers beautiful.
Paul, let me know when we're back.
Oh, is that it? It's, that's right. I apologize. A positive thing. Yes.
We're back.
All right, welcome back, everyone.
Whoops.
Gonna head right into the rest of our meeting here. Department reports, please, Patty.
I have reports from the Town Clerk, Building Inspector, Zoning Board of Appeals, Plumbing, Bureau of Fire Prevention, Parks and Recreation, Planning and Engineering, Tax Receiver, and Director of Finance.
Great, thank you so much. Gonna head right down to business of the town board again. We are going to go to number 3, Town of Somers, adopt the road agreement and signage. Discussion, we've had this a little bit before. We made some changes to this. Annie from Keep Somers Beautiful has worked with Nick DeVito, our highway superintendent, Kim DeLucia, my assistant, on this, and a few changes here. Yes, I'm going to show that sign right after we go over the home.
Okay.
The superintendent will provide a training video. So we have a training video and a checklist going forward. We'll designate also a safety person, and that can provide that link. The superintendent will provide shirts or vests and headgear to all participants in the group that they must wear that. Could be a joint thing. Yep. Correct. Yep. Andy, you want to jump up to the podium and you want to jump up to the podium and talk about it? That way we can have a conversation back and forth.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, so with Keep Somers Beautiful, we're the first affiliate with Keep America Beautiful in Westchester County. Just a
Nice job.
nice feather in Somers cap.
Just give us your name for the record.
Oh.
Everybody knows it.
Annie Gullen,
And you are,
33 Pines Bridge Road.
Yeah.
and you
I'm-
are the,
I'm the president of Keep Somers Beautiful.
there you go.
You know, you and Susie Morovic and all
Yeah,
who really.
yes.
got the-
See, yes, and there was an article in the Somers Record.
Yep.
So you can, read that for,
Oh, we know all about it. We had
Very-
meetings here.
So
yeah. She's still involved.
Good.
But she's like a backup, which is great.
Good.
But anyway,
So-
so
I mean, I think you guys have read over some of this and we did a few
Sure.
changes, right?
Fine.
There would be a fee set up for this as well. It's a great idea, especially if you adopt the road. You can get one sign on one side of the road. If you want to get 2 signs, you can put them on the other side of the certain area that you want to,
one end and then
one on
coming on the other end, yeah.
both ends. Really cool. I'm going to show the sign here.
Yep.
Paul, can you get in on the sign up here if we can see it? How about this, Roland? Can you see it too?
Not Richard, the sign.
Yeah, no,
There we.
pretty cool, right?
That's very nice.
It's an awesome sign, and they designed it. We'll make these up for you. If you want to adopt a road, be a part of the program and learn more information about it.
There's also, if you want to adopt a road, then you can have a logo underneath it. You can have your name,
Yep.
your logo. Just, so really it's a incentive for people driving by to say, oh, this organization, or business
Or a
you know,
family in town wants.
cares about Somers and is doing something about it. And, it's really, the price of the signs is, less than advertising for 1 week. you know, in the paper. So it's a 2-year thing. So it really, but it is a commitment every month. Used to be 4 times a year, but we realized that, you know, even as our organization, we were doing Earth Day, and that was it. That wasn't enough. So then it was twice a year,
Yeah.
and it's still not enough. And then I've tried to do it once a month. But the thing is trying to reach people, you know, and say, what can you do? You know, can you do at least your frontage? Can you help your neighbor who can't do it? Would you like to adopt a road? You know, and then have that commitment. I think we need an ongoing commitment because our little community, our community can't do it all ourselves. Just, but we can facilitate. And we do have vests. We have the safety vests, which is important for safety, which we're going to be a lot more diligent about that because it really hasn't been employed. And so I think that safety vest, picker-uppers, so they can grab into the picker bushes or the
Picker-upper?
yeah,
We gotta order picker-uppers?
yes.
All right.
But anyway, so, and orange bags and so forth.
Yeah.
So,
Right,
So
excellent.
if someone is out there and wants to adopt a road, if I want to adopt a road,
yes.
because I have. So how do we go about doing that? And how do we do it on the 20th or when do we do that?
Oh, well, sure. I mean, we're gonna have a table
Yeah.
right out here.
Right.
You know, so we can get at least a sign of that you're interested, and then we'll give you the information and, you know, all that's necessary. But we do have to, you know, there will be the signage fee and there will be a commitment to doing it a month. And then we would like some documentation because Keep America Beautiful wants to know what we're doing, you know, as an affiliate, you know, keep track of, you know, how successful we are. And so we'd like to have a little bit of, you know, documentation of how many bags or, you know, maybe a picture before and after, you know, would be great. So that kind of thing.
People come to see Old New Bet or New Old Bet. Go out, they can come over here and
Yes,
sign up or
yes,
eggs or
exactly.
just see how they could help.
Yes, yes. And it's not just the pickup, you know, we have other, you know, things. We actually have a grant from Keep America Beautiful that's that Susie Morovic was involved with getting. And so we've gotten some money from them to do this, but we have to fill it. And it's about the biggest number of litter in the country is still cigarette butts.
Really?
So I know,
Really?
I know.
Really?
So anyway, that's the grant we have. And if there's,
It's beer cans.
I know.
Well, don't the Clinches live on your street?
No, the Garrity's drive through.
We do.
Oh.
My
So-
15-year-old.
So there, yeah, if you know of a, sorry, if you know of a business or organization, maybe a
Yeah, the-
club or a, you know, community
This is-
where
this-
they have areas that could use a nice, you know, relatively attractive container. So we have 5 different colors: black, gray, terracotta, green, and beige.
And all
So-
that will be out here.
Yeah, we'll have it out there so
Saturday.
you can see it and
That's great.
you know, indicate an interest and you know, that'd be great.
And if someone can't come on Saturday, how would they best?
You know what?
get in touch with you?
Yeah, well, I have a card, but you know, and I have some paperwork or reaching me on Facebook. I'm going to try to be a lot more interactive with that.
They
Put
can
on the
reach out
town
to,
website.
yep,
And the website,
they can website, they can reach out to the town,
Yep.
reach out to my office, or they can even go,
because we're,
or they can even stop by Highway and talk to the superintendent over there.
that's right.
And we'll get you the information that you need and get you everything organized and get you set up.
Yeah.
And I think
Thank
it's
you so much.
an unbelievable thing that you're doing here for the town of Somers. So thank you.
No, it's a team effort. for
I
sure.
did not realize the importance. I remember talking to Susie and, you know, long ago. And she said, really, I think things are pretty clean around here. Really? She said, you see. And
When you look,
Take a
when
closer
you
look.
start looking and you're seeing all this trash being picked up, you say, oh my goodness, I was wrong. And she-
yeah,
she was
yeah.
Right.
Well,
Yes.
that's the thing. I wrote an article a few years ago and it's called Let's Talk Trash. And it was like, you know, doing my walking and seeing the garbage and somebody said, oh, you're jaywalking. And I said, what is that? And they said, jogging with a purpose. And I said, that's exactly what I do. Because now I can't go by it without picking it up.
Yeah.
So it becomes a compulsion after a while.
Definitely quality of life issue.
Sure.
all-
We want
all-
our town to be beautiful. Yeah, yeah.
We're all responsible for it.
That's right. And we want to raise a generation that, and we've got a garden club that I've been asked to attend at the school, and there's sustainability. And there's the environmental club there. And I have a Girl Scout who wants to do a gold star with us, you know, so it's a kind of exciting time right now. So,
Yes.
and then also we've met with the DOT about adopt a highway because we've got 7 highways in our town. And unfortunately, you know, if that's the state's responsibility, well, we know that they've got potholes that are much higher on their list of things that have to be done. So
Well, the potholes really aren't high on the list, apparently.
so, but litter is definitely, you know, something that we can do, although there are some, you know, safety issues on those roads. They're a lot longer than our town roads. So we're going to have to, you know, like segment like that. But those are details that we're aware of and working out. So
Right. Well, Andy, thank you.
thank you.
Appreciate
For
it.
your support. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thanks,
And
Aaron.
listen, so I think kind of everybody's in agreement here. I'll make the motion here to adopt a road agreement and signage.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Move. All right, brings me to number 4, 295 Route 100 rezoning. We'll put A and B together when we make one motion for that. A is town board declares itself lead agency under SECRA. For those of you who are not familiar with the 295 Route 100 zoning, this is for the state police barracks. This is to go from an R80 to neighborhood shopping. That would allow us to start the process here to look at, you know, keeping the state police here and building a new building. And then B here is schedule the public hearing for May 9th, 2024. I'll make the motion here to declare us as lead agency
Second.
and also schedule the public hearing.
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. All right, A and B done. Okay, number 5, award bid and authorize the supervisors to execute a contract to replace the roof shingles on the Somers Consolidated Water District number 1 building in the amount of $14,568 with Franzoso Roofing per memo dated April 10th, 2024 from Thomas J. Tuma Building Inspector.
This was sent out to bid?
Yes.
And how many bids did you get on it?
3.
3? And this was the lowest responsible
Yes.
bidder or whatever?
We got one there for 31,500. We got one for 28,200, and Franzoso came in here at 14,500.
It wasn't a bid.
It was RFP, right?
RFP?
Yeah.
Which
And-
means because it's under a certain amount,
Because it's under 30,000.
under 30,000. Wow.
30, right? Yeah.
That seemed like a lot. I mean, my house was.
I remember in many years when I had my house, then it was
Mm-hmm.
12 grand. Now we're here.
At least the lowest.
But it's one of the things that we're doing here to update our buildings here in town, and so I'll make the motion here to award the bid to Franzoso. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So
So moved. And number 6, award bid and authorize supervisor to execute a contract to install an aeration system in Lake Shenorock in the amount of $25,882.25 with the pond and lake connection per memo dated April 11th, 2024 from Steve Robbins, PE, lead AP, Woodard and Curran. We talked about this projects on several occasions. Our lake.
Can we take the conversation outside,
Like-
guys?
Annie, and you guys can take. And if we, we talked about the lake revitalization here for Lake Shenorock. It's been on our agenda numerous times. I just think it's one more step for us to try to help bring back that lake. Maybe not to the swimming, but just to bring some life back into it. It's just one step again in a bigger process. I'll make the motion to award the bid.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so moved. Patty, we do have an add-on here for this evening. And it's a resolution here that the town board does hereby authorize the building department to permit temporary limited outdoor dining for the existing establishments for the period of April 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024 to promote economic activity in the town of Somers. And this again is outdoor dining. We've had some major success and another thing we want to do again. So I'll make the motion to authorize building department to permit.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Parks
On
and
this,
Rec,
excuse me, on this note, you really have to attend to putting permanent legislation in place for outdoor dining.
working on that right now, Roland.
Okay, because the
Okay.
extensions really were COVID related
Correct.
and we need to go forward.
We're moving forward. We talked to the necessary parties to get that done, and that is in the works. And hopefully we can have something turned around here in the next couple weeks.
Great.
But we've
Great.
had some people present us and ask that, so I didn't want to hold it up while we're doing
Right.
that to get these people.
Yep.
Okay.
Understood.
All right. Thank you. All righty. No additional business for Parks and Rec. No addition for Financial Highway. No additional business. There are current vacancies for our town boards here: Affordable Housing Board, Planning Board. So we're looking to fill those positions. I would also, number 3, I'd also like to acknowledge the resignation of Nancy Garbino as a member of the Somers Planning Board, effective April 11th, 2024. Nancy has served on the board for 19 years. Unbelievable.
So
Go ahead.
if I could just make a couple comments. I served on the board with Nancy for quite a few years. I was on there when she was appointed. I've known Nancy since I was a little kid. She was one of my mother's best friends. They did a lot together. She was a font of information. She had the history on the town in all different aspects for every application that came in front of us. She was not afraid to speak her mind, even if it was not in the, let's say, maybe the popular opinion. She did it. She always acted and did what she thought was best for the town. She's a great lady, and just a very good friend of mine and my family. And she will be missed. Her, we have a lot of people who are getting off the board over the last few years who have years and years of experience.
Yeah.
And, it is good to get new blood at times, but somebody like Nancy with her experience and knowledge of the town and her just her exuberance on doing this is certainly going to be missed. And we thank her very much for her years of service and hope that she enjoys a well-deserved retirement from town business.
When I first started at this job, the first 2 years, I mean, she was my go-to. She would be very helpful in adding perspective and understanding on how to deal some of the details. And she would always say to me, detail, 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 So she knew her work.
I enjoyed her.
man.
I enjoyed the time with the planning, we're watching them and her pointed questions to the applicants, and she had done her homework, like you say. I enjoyed that. When she gave those pointed questions to me, I didn't enjoy it so much, but I still respected it because she always knew what she was talking about. And I thought she had a pretty good sense of humor too.
She had a great sense of humor.
I thought she was always tough and fair, and for 19 years, that's just, endless gratitude for that, and pair the highest compliment, I can pay someone. Glad she's on our side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a small thing. When I was first elected, when I came into office, I found a news article on my desk of my mom winning a Best in Show dog competition. And she found it from the 1970s
Wow.
and had it on my desk. That's the type of woman that she is. And she took the time to, just say welcome to me. So thank you, Nancy, for that. And it's always, well, you'll be missed. And in 19 years, we thank you for your service here for the town of Somers. And you really do have big shoes to fill. So thank you so much on that. All right, let's move on to planning and engineering. No additional business. Police, there's no additional business. Consensus addenda, I'll make the motion to approve the consensus as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Calendar coming up in the events here, May 2nd and May 9th, 7 p.m. Our town board work session and town board regular meeting. And then June 6th and June 13th, 7 o'clock as well, our town board work session and town board regular meeting. Patty, I'll read the announcements here before, give us a little
Halfway.
fun fact. We're almost done, yeah, we're. only got about-
Halfway the year. I mean.
only got about 14 pages of,
I know.
of what's going on. I'll be quick here. This Saturday, April 20th, right here at 11 o'clock at the Elephant Hotel, World Circus Day, where we will be unveiling the new old bet. It should be an exciting time, dedication ceremony, and then following the ceremony, hear from Hakalaya Bailey, Jonathan Kruk, and the traveling menagerie days. We'll be talking about that, and then we have some photos for the kids. And as well, out here will be Keep Somers Beautiful with their litter cleanup. And that will be on this Saturday and Sunday. Supplies you can get here at the Elephant Hotel. Somers Women's Club Blood Drive, which is the 20th as well. And that is at the SIS cafeteria on the 20th as well. Busy day for the 20th. Household Recycling Day and Westchester County Shredder. And that, I believe, is at FDR Park. That is the big one of the year. That's when you can bring all of those paints, I believe, and also
Be ready to wait, be patient.
wait.
That line is long.
Nice, one of the best things the county does, and it's really a marvelous thing and costs nothing.
It costs
It's
nothing.
great, it's a great project with that.
And then we'll move on to a Sunday here, which the Somers Lions Pancake Breakfast starts at 8 o'clock in the morning and goes to 12, and that's at Somers High School cafeteria. And that is $10 per person. That's a donation. And of course, they're gonna have pancakes, eggs, and sausage, and the Egg McLion.
There you
their,
go.
their famous one. And then Town of Somers Arbor Day event, tree planting, Friday, April 26th. That's 1 p.m. at Bailey Park, right across the street from the Elephant Hotel. Medication Take Back Day, sponsored by Somers Partners in Prevention and the Somers Police Department. That is Saturday, April 27th. 9 to 1, Somers Police Department, 100 Primrose Street. That is right in where Van Tassel is. Join the Town of Somers and the Somers Central School District for the Somers Soars When Everyone Belongs event. And that is Tuesday, April 30th, and that's from 6 to 8:30, Somers Middle School cafeteria. Diversability Job Fair presented by the Catalyst Westchester County Economic Development. That is Tuesday, April 30th, 11 to 3, main floor of the Westchester County Center. Attention job seekers, north of I-287 Job Fair. That's going to be held in Yorktown, the Albert A. Capelli Community and Cultural Center, 1974 Commerce Street. And that is on the May 1st, 10 to 2. The Somers Lions Club Carnival, May 8th through May 12th at the Fireman's Field. Westchester County Mobile Shredder is coming back to Somers again. That's May 14th, 10 to 1, right at Reese Park. Somers Senior Program Casino Bus Trip, mentioned that last week, to Wind Creek Casino in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. The bus depart Van Tassel at 8:30 a.m. and return at 7:30 p.m. 55, and you just make sure you call Princess Guerrero, the over at Van Tassel, and she can help with everything. The annual statewide ban prohibiting residential brush burning is started now, and that is going through May 14th. Community Center of Northern Westchester, 8th annual Moms for Moms Drive. That's May 1st through Wednesday, May 15th. And they are seeking donations of diapers, wipes, baby food, you name it. And that's located at 84 Bedford Road in Katona, New York. And then save the date, Town of Somers Independence Day celebration. That is Wednesday, July 3rd, right at Reese Park. Festivities start at 5. Patty,
5 p.m., not 4.
5 p.m. Yes, but you can get there at 4. You can get there.
Setting up.
You get there at 4.
I live
They'll be
there.
setting up. You can walk right down the street.
So I've been a little busy this last couple of weeks. So I'm really falling by the wayside on my fun fact today, but or my this day in history, but I do have a fun fact. Cows have best friends. Research has shown that cows form deep friendships and become stressed when separated from their close companions. There is a distinctive social hierarchy and often display affectionate behavior towards their preferred bovine buddies.
Okay.
Interesting.
Wow.
Who knew that? That is,
Pretty good fun fact.
that is.
And this day in history, Patty told a story about cows.
Yeah. And having their buddy. Anything?
Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing, starting Monday night, decent Pesach or happy Passover for all of our Jewish friends and family here in Somers, starting Monday night.
Good point.
Rich.
On this day in history, actually, everyone's heard of Paul Revere and he and William Dawes leaving Boston to, when the question was, are the British going to go by sea or are they going to go by land to attack where
One if by land.
right?
Yeah.
Where the revolutionaries had been encamped. And although Revere gets a lot of the credit, he actually got captured along the way. But the shot heard around the world was there on the way when the first militia met British soldiers and they sort of squared off. And then firing began, some people were killed, and really that was the start of the revolution. What's interesting about it is whether you are in a high school class or a AP class or a college class, who fired the first shot? And so if you look at the firsthand testimony of those who were there and it was done, you really can argue it either way, which any lawyer knows, I'm sure Roland would agree, is firsthand eyewitness testimony is actually among the least reliable of all evidence in a trial. And so each side would blame and has blamed the other side for centuries, but that was this day in history.
All right, well, I have a sobering thought. It's tax day, the end of this month. So your town and your local taxes are due.
I was gonna say, wasn't tax day Monday?
Yeah,
I think I paid my tax.
Well, it's a busy month. You have estimated taxes, then you have your, your federal and state taxes, and then you have your real estate taxes.
And all the things Rob just read.
My God.
Tiring.
We went the first 2 months, right?
Tiring,
January and February without anything on the calendar.
Yeah, it's snow in 2 days. That was the
April
announcement.
and May have been jam-packed.
It is.
Tom, anything?
Actually, not tonight.
All right. Well, on that note, I'll make the motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Okay, good
Hi,
night,
Roland.
Good night.
You what? Wow, what's keeping you crazy today?
I've had so many bad things in my life lately, people dying. It's like a cloud on.
You know, I don't think it's just you, my friend.